Hey guys, Jim next with Nomadic Pursuits. I've got another video for you in my 5-minute HDR series. It's this one from Montpellier, France. I'm going to go ahead and get started on it. I was down there a couple of years ago, but I was going through photos last night and came across this one and started working on it. And really, I did a couple of things. It only took me a few minutes, and I thought it might be a subject of another 5-minute HDR video. So I'm going to let that build, and then I'm going to get going because I have 5 minutes. And I want to sort of beat the clock. I need to look at the clock, in fact. All right, there we go. So here's the base HDR. This is Arc de Triomphe, it's called. They're in Montpellier. Very beautiful. It's nothing, of course, like the Arc de Triomphe in Paris in terms of size or being famous, but it's a wonderful spot. I was there at Blue Hour. Had shot a wonderful sunset and all that stuff. Anyway, I love the lights and just the whole scene. I love this kind of stuff. So I fired away. I'm going to start with a preset. I'm going to do balanced and realistic. It's a great preset. I've been using it quite a bit on images. And as the name implies, it's very balanced and very realistic. So as you can see here, let me show you. There's the before, there's the after. Very simple, sort of subtle application of HDR. And truthfully, in many ways, you could be done with the photo just putting that one preset on it. But this is me, and hey, I like to stack presets, right? So I'm going to do that again. This time, I'm going to use Happy Day, and that is also over here. Here it is, and let me apply that. And I'm going to drop the opacity on this layer, though, because there it is at 100%. It's a little too much for my taste. I'm going to drop that to about 50. Let's call it 49. Let me show you the difference. There's before and after. It gives a little bit more pop, a little bit more sort of excitement around the colors, if you want to use that word, but I like the look. Now I'm going to add another layer, and I'm going to do some color work and that sort of thing here. So let me just start. Actually, I'll just start here in structure. I'm going to bump up the clarity and the HDR look a little bit. I want to bring a little more detail, something like that, and maybe about like that. So what I've done is bump up the details a little bit here, especially in the arch, and some in the street. Let me show you. There's before, there's after. Of course, I'm not done. I'm gonna give this a little image radiance, which I like. It's an effect I haven't used a ton, but I think it works well here. Let me show you what that did to it. There's the before, there's the after. Sort of gave it a little bit of a moody, sort of mystical feeling, which is kind of fun to play with. Now I'm gonna get into color toning. And this is basically split toning, so you can use the highlights and the shadows and change those colors and the saturation levels separately, which is very simple but very powerful. And if you've seen my other videos, you know I use it all the time. I absolutely love it. I'm going to use this preset, and there you go. It gives a little bit of a different color shade to the photo, but a little pink. So I'm going to take that saturation down a little bit on that color. And then I'm a little unhappy with the yellow. It's a little too bright. Excuse me, not bright. It's a little too saturated. So I'm going to take the yellow saturation down a little bit, something like that. Let me show you that. There's the before. I don't know if you can tell. And let me show you the color toning. There's the before. There's the after. It just took a little bit of that brightness out of the yellow to my eyes. So the next thing I'm going to do in this layer, and I do that a lot, is when I create a layer and I'm doing a bunch of global adjustments, I'll just do them all in the same layer unless I feel like there's a reason to do it on another layer, but it keeps it easier for me. I'm not trying to set a record on how many layers I can put in a photo. I just want to make it easy, right? So if I can do a full layer and do 5 or 6 different little brush edits in this right-hand menu, and they're global in nature, then I might as well do it on a single layer. Here I'm going to brighten the bottom a little bit, so I'm going to go into top and bottom lighting, and I'm going to bump that up just a little bit. There we go. And I think that's probably about it. Let me see. There's the before I got to this layer, and there's the after. So you can see I sort of shifted some of the color tones and also some of the lighting around. Let me show you the before. That was a bit more evenly lit, which is kind of what HDR does for you. And it was a little more yellow and blue than I wanted. And then here I brightened up the bottom with the image radiance. I sort of darkened the skies a little bit, and then I brought up some of the detail around the arch specifically with the structure changes that I made, which were here, the clarity and the HDR look. So I think that looks good. I think the only other thing I would do is add some DeNoise. So let me do that real quick. And this is one of my favorite features of Auroras, because I used to always have to make a round trip to some other product to go fix noise or remove noise, and now it's just built in. So I don't know if you can even see the noise. It's really hard on a video, but there's a little bit there, not a ton, but I'm gonna make these adjustments that you see here. However, here's something I often do is I'll just go brush them into the sky, but I'm gonna do something different this time. Instead of brushing them into the sky, because if you see these little spots here and under there and around in here, I don't want to get the small brush and mess with that. And plus I'm on a timer. I'm about done. I need to just do erase. I'm just going to go erase the noise reduction from the big areas here because they're big and wide and it's easy to do. So let me just run through that real quick. And I think I'm at about 5 minutes. Let me show you my mask. Let me just do a little cleanup. And there we go. So, I would do a little bit cleaner job if I was actually, oops, I kind of overdid it there. Shrink my mouse. There we go. Put a little of that back. Let me show you. So let me show you the before and after. There's the before photo, a fairly flat HDR, which is fine with me. I like it that way. And a complete HDR with multiple layers, several presets, noise reduction, color, structure, all sort of other edits, and all that in about 5 minutes. So that's it. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Have a good day.